This is Guadalupe Guzman with El Popo News at California State University, Northridge. The 2017-2018 school year has already brought in 12 cases of school-related shootings throughout the United States. Parents are supposed to feel comfortable sending their children to school, as they are trusting the school to provide a safe environment for their children to learn and thrive. Instead, parents' worst fears were realized as they received the heart-stopping news that their child's school was on lockdown and they had to wait helplessly on the sidelines to be reunited with them. Thinking about these events raises the question, what causes people to act out in this manner? There are different factors that can contribute to this behavior. The September shootings in Freeman High School, Washington, and Mattoon High School, Illinois, both seem to be caused by students who were being bullied and were not able to resolve the problem without resorting to violence. The November shooting that took place in Rancho Tehama Elementary, California, and the December shooting in Aztec High School, New Mexico, both involved mentally unstable adults that had legal access to weapons and managed to penetrate the school's campus. The January incident in Coronado Elementary, Arizona, and February incident in Jackson Middle School, Ohio, both involved a young student who decided to take their own life in the school restroom. The successive active shooter occurrences during January in Texas's Italy High School, Kentucky's Marshall County High School, in February, Florida's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and in March, Maryland's Great Mills High School, all involved students that had psychological problems that included violent thoughts or tendencies. Finally, the remaining shootings that put schools on lockdown in March were Huffman High School in Alabama, and in February, Salvador B. Castro Middle School, California. Both schools reported these incidents as accidental weapons discharges. After incidents like these, the question that is raised is, could this have been prevented? I think so, because there are many things we could all do to help before situations escalate to this level. There are many ways that schools, families, and the media can do their part to have a positive effect on students' lives. As students are trying to find their place in the world, sometimes they have trouble identifying their strengths, making social connections, and having a healthy self-esteem. These issues are common among children. However, they need to be addressed and given the proper attention. Schools can help by having strong rules and consequences for bullying. One of the ways they can reinforce zero tolerance for bullying is by having a club on campus whose members would help keep watch during recreational time and offer assistance to students who are being bothered or just need somebody to talk to. Another way schools can help is by offering seminars that give students advice and help them discover their talents and interests and how to use them to gain friendships. According to scientificamerica.com, it is important for students to form relationships with peers, teachers, and other adults in order to establish ties to people they can care about and feel will care about them too. Since teachers spend the majority of their time with students at school, it is important that they address changes they notice in students and communicate it to their parents. The student's family plays a big part in the way they develop their thoughts and feelings about the world around them. They need to be involved in their children's lives. Asking about their day, their friends, and school activities is a good way to get conversations started to see how they are coping with their social environment. Having these frequent conversations and interactions can provide parents or other family members with the way to check in on the students and notice any behavioral or emotional changes. These changes can present themselves in many ways. Some of the signs of a troubled child are being excessively introverted, having low self-esteem, withdrawal, depression, showing an obsession with weapons or violent characters. Also, verbal, written, or drawn communications of violent hints should not be ignored. Parents should communicate with teachers and school staff to support the child by asking for help or resources if the child has trouble. If any family member owns a weapon, it needs to be kept out of reach of children at all times. Another way that children can be discouraged from violent acts is by being dissuaded by the media. The media has a responsibility to keep the public informed, but it should also strive to do so in a positive way. When it comes to school shootings, the media should focus on the victims and the punishment of the shooter instead of giving a play-by-play of how he or she carried out the act. This way, people watching are discouraged by the judgment being passed on the shooter and not the glorification. This has been Guadalupe Guzman for El Popo News Online. Visit us and tell us what you think.